My mom don't work anymore. She's like sick or not getting, or whatever that's called. What is that called?
Mom! Shut the door! My name's Jacob Reed. I'm 23 years old, and I still live with my parents.
I moved out of my parents' home at 19. However, I moved in with my grandmother. My grandfather died, and I didn't actually live on my own until I was 26.
After high school, I went to college at Ohio University, and I went there for a year and lived in the dorms there. And then after that, I transferred to Capital University in Columbus, and I didn't want to try to live in the dorms there because it would be way too expensive, and I still couldn't afford to live on my own, get an apartment or anything like that. And so I moved in with my parents.
I did maybe think that Jacob would still be living at home. We promised our kids that if they moved back home, they wouldn't have to pay a lot of bills or any bills, and they could pay off their student loans.
My name's Brandon. I'm 23, and I don't live with my mom, but I did live with my mom, and now I'm buying her house. I moved out at age 18, and I had an apartment for like 6 months, but then didn't make enough money to stay in that apartment, so I moved back in with her and lived there maybe a year, and then I got a better job, and now she lives in an apartment, and I live in the house I was living in. She lost her house by not paying the bills, so she moved in with me for maybe 6 months, and now she lives in an apartment. Had intercourse with a girl. She got pregnant, and birds and bees, we had a baby. You can't live with your parents if you have a baby.
My name is Nathan Beavers. I'm 23, and I live in the house behind my mom and dad's house. I did move out in 2008 to Columbus with a friend. We lived there for probably 8 months, and then I moved back here.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad place, and I didn't figure they'd actually stay up there too long just because of, never being in that environment before, and figured they'd probably get a little tired of it, which they did. So it wasn't a shock, and he was welcome back here anyway.
I moved out because I just wanted to move out. I mean, I didn't really have a reason. I didn't want to live with parents anymore, and a bunch of us decided to get a place together. When I came back and said I was going to live here, they were just pretty cool with it and everything. I mean, they weren't like, like fucking surprised, I guess, but.
I do plan on moving out as soon as possible. Right now I have a pretty good job that pays pretty well, but I have so much money in student loans. Right now I'm paying close to $800 a month for student loans, and paying that, it's pretty hard to try to find my own place and live on my own.
First of all, their mom can watch him.
I do plan on moving out again. It sucks living close to your parents, I guess, which I mean more or less do.
We've kind of always worked together, so a lot of what we do is here at the farm, obviously, and when he lived away, he was 25 miles from here, so like I said, he moved away from his work instead of closer to it.
My mom found out that I knocked a girl up. She kicked me out of her house, and I actually lived with my girlfriend's parents for a little bit. But then she came around and let me move back in. Living with a mom, I mean, they're all crazy.
The downsides of living at home is having absolutely no privacy whatsoever.
He clogs the toilet once a day.
Every time I am not home by 10 or 11 o'clock, I get phone calls asking where I am, and I can't do anything without everyone in my house knowing. And that's just really annoying, and it sucks.
On his own.
He does not clean his room very well. Obviously, the suitcase was in the middle of the floor.
Downsides, absolutely get no privacy. It's terrible. That is the worst thing. Like, you never get a moment to yourself, you know, without your parents, without you thinking about your parents just being right there, you know. Like, we have parties quite a bit, and you never know when they're just gonna show up and ruin the day.
Another backside about him living at home is when he left, he thought we knew something. And since he's been to college and back home, he thinks we know nothing. He doesn't know how we ever did without him.
There are some benefits to living at home. Obviously, the best thing is probably it's a whole lot cheaper to live with my parents than it would be to live on my own. Also, it's kind of nice because my mom fixes me food. She fixes me lunch every day before work, and that's kind of nice. And she also does my laundry, so that's another.
I work with my parents, so I don't have to drive anywhere, waste gas, all this and that. You can always go up and get food if you don't have food. Work-wise, I work with my dad, and we farm, and we also lay tile, and kind of have like a partnership going on right now, and hopefully when he's done, I'll be doing that, and that's probably when I'll move.
If they move out on their own and then move back, it's probably an economics thing. But I think a lot of them still stay around for a couple reasons. One's economics. Two, they probably carry a decent relationship with their parent and maybe want to take advantage of it as long as they can. So,
I work at Time Warner Cable right now in the sales department, and I do make pretty good money there. I just started a couple months ago, so I'm still kind of new. But as of now, I'm making about $700 a week, so it's not bad by any means. But I still can't afford to move out because of my student loans. Like I said, I'm paying like $800 a month.
Yeah, I could, but then I couldn't buy anything I wanted, and I like things. That's kind of fucking shitty to say, but I do have other things I like to do, and I would like to do those things.
In 5 years, I see myself, hopefully being out of my parents' house.
I hope to see him in a stable job. I hope to see him with a significant other. I hope to have grandchildren by then.
Somewhere else, making lots of money. Hopefully by then, I'll be running business. I don't have to rely on my dad so much, and hopefully at home somewhere have a house or building one.
hopefully taking my job. So, or doing whatever he wants to do, but if it's this, then he'll be running this show and the two of them. So that's how I see it.
I see myself in 5 years in this house still. Not paid off, but a lot less than is owed.
Yeah, definitely living on my own somewhere.